Thank you for turning up. It's great to see you here. My name is Ed Ponsi, and I want to introduce you to my new book, the Ed Ponsi Forex Playbook. That's why we're here today. You can see by the cover, I don't know if I'm sure a lot of you folks are from various parts of the world. Give me a shout. Where are you located? Are you in the U.S.? Are you in Europe? Are you in Australia? Give me a shout. Let me know where you're located. Because, I talk a lot about sports, believe it or not, in this book. And I realize that different people in different countries follow different sports. And you might be wondering, what does that have to do with currency trading and with with Forex? Looks like we've got a great international crowd on our hands today. And the thing is, I've noticed ever since I began trading that there is a strong correlation, let's say, a strong connection between sports and trading. I don't know about you, but, I played baseball and American football, and I played ice hockey, and I'm sure a lot of you played a lot of organized sports too. And it seemed to me that trading and sports just went hand in hand. And I wanted to write a book that used a lot of the analogies that I saw in the sports world and took them over to the trading world, because sometimes we're dealing with concepts. Let's face it, sometimes we're dealing with concepts that are a little bit complicated in Forex trading and in any type of trading. And in order to deal with these complex ideas and complicated things, I use analogies that are based on sports. Those seem to be the best way to get my point across. And so we do quite a bit of that in this book. There's a lot of great inspirational stuff, quotations from sports stars and, fantastic inspirational stuff, but it's much, much more than that. It's not a feel-good kind of book. This is a down and dirty, gritty trading book. If you read my first book, Forex Patterns and Probabilities, you're aware that I'm a strategy guy. I love the X's and O's, as we say, and you can see them there right on the cover. I love to strategize. But we're going to take it to a different level. In this book, I'm going to show you, what actually makes, what do professionals actually do to make their trading better? To know the X's and the O's, you combine them with different things, you can make yourself a dynamite trader. That's really what this is all about. Now, if you don't know me, and I'm sure a lot of you don't know me, who am I? Who is this guy? Well, my name's Ed Ponsi. That's right, my name is Ponsi, right? P-O-N-S-I, not Z-I. And, I often get teased for my name. People say, are you going to change your name? And I tell them, no, I'm not going to change my name. Are you kidding me? I wouldn't change my name for all the tea in China. I am happy to have a name like Ponzi. Why? Because, first of all, it's hard to forget. And second of all, it's like the old jelly commercial. I don't know if you remember. In the United States, at least, we used to have this commercial for jelly. Or jam, and it was called Smuckers. That was the name of the company. And the saying was, with a name like Smuckers, it better be good. And I feel like I'm the same way, with a name like Ponzi, I'd better be good. And you can see that I'm very frequently on your financial television. I'm on CNBC quite a bit recently. Occasionally on CNN over here. Usually this is on CNBC. The Golden Tie, right? Here's CNN, right? And that's actually filmed in London with Charles Hodson. This is in Singapore, right here, on Bloomberg Television. You may have seen me occasionally. And this is in New York City at Fox Business News. Right in the heart of Manhattan. I'm the kind of guy who, when you look at me and you see that I'm on television and that I've written books, a lot of folks get the impression that, well, I must have gone to I must have gone to Harvard or Yale or Wharton or Oxford or something along those lines, but it's not true. I was just an average guy who wanted to learn how to trade. And, in that sense, I started out probably the same way that most of you started. Is I was an independent business owner. I had some extra money to play around with in the stock market. I started fooling around with stocks. I lost some money. I made some money. I lost some money. I made some money. But what I did differently is I really dedicated myself to learning how to do it right. In that sense, what I did something that most folks probably didn't do, in that I sold my business, cut all my ties, and took a job on Wall Street that paid no salary, no guaranteed salary, no benefits, no job security. I threw everything away to get a shot on Wall Street, and once I got my foot in the door, I wouldn't let go. And managed to talk a company. You see, I was trading stocks. I built up a track record. I used that track record to talk a company, a small hedge fund, into giving me a job on a trading desk as a junior trader, and I worked my way up from there. And you can see that things turned out okay for me. And I think it's an important story to tell because it could work out okay for you too. You don't have to have some sort of special edge, right? You don't have to have special insider knowledge. You don't have to be born with a silver spoon in your mouth to succeed in this business. Okay. So who am I? A professional trader and money manager, consultant to hedge funds and individuals. I'm the author of 2 books now. They've both sold very well. The first one was a tremendous success. It came out about 3 years ago. The new book is off to a good start as well. You've seen me on TV a lot. You've seen me interviewed in different magazines like Stocks and Commodities and Traders Journal. But at the heart of it all, just keep in mind that I started out just like you, trading 100 shares of stock out of my basement, on a 14.4 modem. And I managed to take that and turn it into this. And if I can do that, you can do it. I don't have any special gift or anything along those lines. Now, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine. I say introduce you, but this friend of mine needs no introduction. And I am very, very honored to call this guy a friend. His name, of course, Rob Booker. And he's someone that you see here. I'm sure all of you are well aware of Rob. He's someone who you've seen here frequently on FX Street and everywhere else. And, his reputation precedes him. And he's a terrific guy. He's just a tremendous guy, I have to tell you. Rob and I don't always agree on everything, but I respect the guy tremendously. And one of the things I do agree with Rob is when he says that Ed Ponsi Forex start to finish, the book is packed with information that can help any trader extract profits from the most exciting case of James Chen. James, is a true gentleman and a really extremely knowledgeable guy. He's a great author. He wrote a terrific book himself, Essentials of Foreign Exchange Trading. And you can see his blog here on FX Street. And it's a terrific blog. He does tremendous technical analysis. And James Chen tells you this: accepts that my book is exceptionally unique and useful to traders of all skill levels. This book is a wealth of actionable trading approaches from one of the giants in Forex education and analysis. One of the giants. So that's probably the nicest thing that anyone's ever said about me. I've never considered myself a giant in anything. So anyway, and of course, James, of course, is the chief technical strategist at FX Solutions and an author in his own right. So, Rob and James, said some very nice things about the book and about me, and I appreciate that. And those are folks that you already know, but I want to introduce you now to someone who you probably don't know. And his name is Professor Steve Hanke. I want you to consider, first of all, who Professor Hankey is. You've probably seen him on television. If you watch Bloomberg TV, you've definitely seen him. He's the kind of guy, they'll keep him on there for an hour because he's got a lot to say, believe me. And you can see they even make cartoons up about him. He's quite a guy. Professor of Applied Economics. So the man is professor at a major U.S. university and a senior fellow at a think tank. He advises governments on, and I'm talking about dozens of governments, seek him out for his advice on what they should do with their currencies. But more than that, Professor Hankey is a Forex trader. Professor Hankey is president of what was the world's best performing emerging markets fund in 1995. And what did Professor Hankey do for the world's best performing emerging market mutual fund? He traded foreign exchange, commodities, and a wide variety of securities. Okay, so the man, is at the pinnacle of education, and he's a Forex trader. He's not just an academic. He's a guy who ran and traded an extremely successful fund. What does Professor Hankey tell you? He says the Ed Ponsi Forex Playbook contains the offensive and defensive plays that will keep you profitable and safe. Those who pick up this fascinating read will not put it down until they have finished. I cannot tell you how proud I am that Professor Hankey would make such a kind comment about my book. The way I became involved with Professor Hankey was I became interested in his work because, I'm always learning too. And I was aware that he was a very successful trader who was also an academic. So I delved into his work, and I wanted to put some of it in my new book, the Ed Ponsi Forex Playbook. And so, of course, I had to seek out Professor Hankey and ask him permission to use some of his work in my book. And he said, well, Ed, I'll give you permission if I like your work. Because he's not just going to allow anyone to come along and use his stuff. So I sent him a copy of the book without his work in it, obviously. And he liked it enough that not only did he allow me to use some of his work in my book, he also wrote this very, very nice testimonial for the back cover of my book. I don't know anyone else who has professors of applied economics at major universities writing such nice things about them on the back covers of their books. So I'm very, very happy. I'm very humbled by that. I'm going to turn off the presentation for just a second here. Okay. I can see we have a very nice crowd on hand, and I do appreciate that. All right. And I'm going to pull something up for you just a second. I'm going to read to you a little bit of little something from the book. I'm going to answer some questions for you right there. First of all, I do have a cricket quote in the book, Michael. There's no, don't anybody freak out. There's no video right now. I'm checking your questions, and I'm going to try to answer them as we go along. I can only see the charts, can't see anything else. Ramel, you might want to log out. Okay. All right. First question, why is it called the playbook? Again, it's a wonderful analogy. This is, in other words, a team has certain plays that they run. So does a currency trader. In a different situation, if I'm on a football field, American football, right? Sometimes you pass and sometimes you run, and there's a right time to do it and a wrong time to do it. Sometimes in baseball you bunt because that's the play to move that runner and get him into scoring position. In Forex, there are certain plays you must execute as well, and that's what this book is about. Anyway, let's continue. American gridiron football has playbooks. Exactly, Michael. Exactly. Is there any relation to P&F charts on your cover? No, not point and figure, John. I don't really get involved with point and figure charts, so that's really not what it's about. But it's interesting that you point that out. X's and O's are considered to be, we draw up strategies for playing a sport. You see, the X's are the players on one team, and the O's are the players on the other team. So it does not refer to a point and figure chart, but that's interesting. Very cool. Don't forget Forex TV. By the way, I was just on there yesterday doing audio. Forex TV will be up and running again soon. They're just moving into a new studio down on Wall Street. Curtis says, I wish your webinars were open to free members more. You know what, Curtis? I'm a hot dog. I love playing to a big audience. And I don't mind. So, who knows? Maybe we'll do more of these type of things in the future. I don't know. We'll talk to the folks on FX Street about that. Brave move. Okay. I'm not sure what that refers to. Excellent books. Thanks. Thank you, Wen. Anybody else have any problems? Put them in the Fed. Mr. Hankey, I agree. Professor Hankey, show table of contents. Great. Okay. Terrific. We're going to flip through some of the stuff in the book. Try Amazon.com for the new book. Are you more trader or author? When exactly was the last time you traded? Greg, that's kind of a silly question, but why don't we just hang in there, and I think that question will answer itself. How's that sound? Okay. Thank you for putting that up. I'm going to read to you a small selection from the book. And I just want to tell you, this is just a little forward. It says, the story of this book is literally a journey. I began working on it under the eerie pink skies of Mexico City, not far from Diego Rivera's studio, and on a balcony overlooking the beach in Acapulco. As I finish it now on the last day of 2009, I'm sitting on a rooftop deck on the side of a mountain in Brazil, in a small town just outside of Rio de Janeiro. From my protected perch, I can see storms rolling toward me through a green valley, a surreal sight indeed. Tonight, it will be picanha, cerveza, and guitars. And along the way, parts of this book were written in such far-flung locales as Dubai, Singapore, London, and even in Tokyo Airport during a very long flight delay. Spent countless hours in coffee shops in and around New York City, sipping hot Java and banging the keys. I hope this book answered many of your questions. I do see your questions piling up in my email. I try to read most of them. I'm humbled by the fact that so many of you have sought out my advice. Unfortunately, if I answered all of you individually, there will be no time to do anything else. So, accept my apologies as the growing volume of questions has made answering them difficult. And I hope you appreciate that this book is not one long sales pitch, as so many books on trading seem to be. I really want you to understand my trading tactics and philosophy. The two books in combination should help clarify my position and solidify your knowledge. If you wish, you can follow me on social websites like Facebook and Twitter. I'll be posting links to my TV appearances as well and keeping you informed on upcoming events and appearances. And in closing, just like to say thanks. Your overwhelmingly positive response to my work is the reason why it continues. Sources like the Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, Reuters, Financial Times. Okay? Ireland pulled off an impressive performance on Tuesday. Tuesday being the 17th, right? August 18th. Ireland pulled off an impressive performance on Tuesday and has given 100 million euros worth of bonds maturing in 2014. Investor demand was more than 5 times the amount of new bonds on the offer. 5 times. So for every bond they sold, there were 5 people wanted to buy it. Or let's just say for every bond that were sold, there were 5 bids. There were bids for 5 times the amount they sold. We call that bid to cover ratio. And Ireland's sale of 10-year bonds, arguably even more impressive. All right, so situation, Ireland had a fantastic bond auction, and that means everyone loves Ireland. Everyone loves Irish debt. Let's lend Ireland some money, and let's lend them some money by buying some Ireland bonds, because that's what you're doing, right? When you buy bonds, you're lending money. Okay. The second book is strategies, but it's also blending it with other information like this to really even make the trades more powerful. This is what brings you to a professional level. Okay. So I hope that, that helps to clear things up a little bit. if you think that I'm going to all this trouble and then not making money on it, then you're nuts. Okay? Because I have very strong ideas sometimes. And listen, I'm not always right. I would never try to tell you that. I'm not always right. But sometimes you can just see the money laying there. The money's just laying there on the floor. It's just laying there on the table. And all you have to do is pick it up. And part of this book is about identifying those situations where the money is just basically just laying there. And all you have to do is reach down and grab it. That's what this is about. Okay? And basically also in that clip, what I'm telling these guys is a BS. I say it much more politely on the air. I realize I'm on television. So I tell the bond auction and why you should not believe the hype about Ireland and their bonds. What did I tell them? Look into it. Okay, look into it. That's just one little way to play it. Okay? But I told them that those bond auctions, who's buying these bonds? Yeah, this was oversubscribed by a 5-to-1 ratio. Who's buying them? Could be the ECB. We don't know. But if the ECB is going to phony up a stress test to give you confidence, then why wouldn't they phony up an auction? They've got tons of money they're printing. All they have to do is buy the bonds. They already told us they're buying European bonds. They just don't tell us which ones and what amount. But we know they're buying bonds. So why should we believe this auction? This auction was designed, I think it was rigged to make it look good, to make the euro look better. And that's what I call it. Okay? All right. So let's move on from that. So I'm talking about playing the game at a very high level here, folks. Okay? I'm not talking about being 2-pip Charlie and paying 3 pips spread to try to make 2 pips and then wondering why you can't make any money. Okay? All right. Just some of the ideas we're going to cover. In addition to the technical stuff, we're going to cover things like the COT report. You probably know a little bit about it, but you probably haven't seen any really good explanations of it. One of the things I can tell you about COT report, most people are looking over here, the non-reportable positions. They're saying, well, these guys are non-reportable, so therefore they're probably bad traders because they're little traders. These are the people who are trading, one lot out of their basement. But these guys are not necessarily wrong. You know who's usually wrong? These guys over here, non-commercials. These are bigger traders. When these bigger traders all line up on one side of the trade, all right? In this case, almost 80,000 contracts long and almost 20,000 short. 4-to-1 ratio. They're long versus short. Okay? That's telling. They're all on one side of the trade. It's probably going to go the other way, believe it or not. You would think these guys would know better. These guys have all the money. They have all the research. And they're often wrong, especially when they all join up together. They're wrong. This is the British pound, by the way. British pound sterling on the CME. Futures positions as of November 6, 2007. All buyers. They all want to be long by a 4-to-1 ratio. They were long and they were wrong. This was the top. Right? They were all buying at the top on British pound. When they all line up together, they're usually wrong. These are the type of things that we're going to go into, and then we're going to combine that with technical analysis to create great trades. This is an intervention trade from 2009, from Chapter 10. We're going to talk about intervention. If you didn't make a ton of money in 2009 on Swiss franc intervention, then you really need to do a little soul searching. If you want to call yourself a currency trader and you did not make money in 2009 off of intervention, then you're really going to have to ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? And by really understanding it and knowing how to take advantage of it, you might make a lot of money in 2010 or 2011 or whenever Japan decides they've had enough of this strengthening yen, because it won't go on forever. You know, the yen's going to get stronger, in my opinion. I think it'll go to the low 80s at least. But it's not going to go to the moon. At some point, they're going to have to put a stop to it. Will you be ready to make money when Japan makes their decision? That's the question you got to ask yourself. If you read this book, you'll be prepared. Do you use short sterling futures? Do you use STIRs, short-term interest rates, to give you clues as to what's going to happen next? If you're not doing that, maybe you should be. Are you aware of ways to compare currencies to determine if they're undervalued or overvalued? Do you know how to do that? That information is out there waiting for you to look at it. And the beautiful thing is, a lot of this stuff are things that many folks, I'm sure at one point I would have considered all this stuff over my head. All this stuff would have been over my head at one point. And there are, and the thing is though, although some of these can be complicated, they're not that complicated as long as you have the right person explaining it to you. And if you've ever read my books or, listened to me on here, one of the things I do best is I take something that's kind of complicated and I can explain it so that anyone can understand it, and that's the whole key. This stuff, you can understand all this, and it will raise the level of your game. You can understand about inflation. You can understand about Professor Hankey's work on inflation, where every day the price of inflation was at a 98% daily rate in Zimbabwe. This is some of the stuff that Professor Hankey worked on. Fascinating stuff. If you're not looking at things like the LIBOR-OIS spread, or if you don't even know what it is, maybe you should read this book. Okay? And I just want to tell you that the book is now available, of course. And before I stop, I just want to tell you that we are having a $1,995. We're going to give it away to one of you for free. And we're also going to give you a hotel room. So all you have to do, we'll be staying at the, I think it's the Hilton. We'll be staying at the Hilton. So you can come and join me. We'll spend the weekend together. It'll be a Saturday and a Sunday because, that's the best time to do it. We'll be together all day. You'll have a hotel room Saturday night rather. We'll be together all day on Sunday. You'll have free lunch, free breakfast both days. And we'll be giving away lots of other cool prizes too. So how do you win is probably a question that might be on your mind. All right. And the answer is, this is a book review contest. We are going to give away that top prize to whoever writes the best review of the Ed Ponsi Forex Playbook on Amazon.com. So all you have to do is purchase a copy of the Ed Ponsi Forex Playbook on Amazon.com and write a review on Amazon, and we will pick the winner. The grand prize, of course, is a free seminar, live seminar in New York. And there will be other prizes as well. We'll be giving away DVDs and all kinds of cool stuff. We'll be giving away books by other authors. So, we think we're going to have we're going to have 10 different winners in all. One grand prize and 10 winners in all. So all you have to do to win is purchase a copy of the Ed Ponsi Forex Playbook on Amazon.com. Write a review. Tell us what you liked about it. and we will pick the winners from those contestants. Just use your real name so we know who you are. That's all we ask. Put your real name designation on there, because otherwise we won't know who wrote it, and we won't be able to give you the prize. So far, there are only 13 reviews up there, so someone's going to win, and you don't have a lot of competition at this point. We're going to run this contest until the middle of September, so you do not have a lot of time. You have about 3 weeks. There should be plenty of time to get it done. And we'll be announcing the winners in the middle of September. So all you have to do is go to Amazon.com, get a copy of the book, and we will and hopefully you'll win, and we'll see you at our seminar in New York on October 2nd and 3rd. If you want more details about the seminar, just go to my website, which is fxeducator.com. Right, www.fxeducator.com. Or you can go www.edponsi.com. That'll take you there as well. And you'll be able to get all the details on the seminar. And hopefully, we will see you on October 2nd and 3rd. Okay, I'm going to turn off the presentation for just a second here. Just jump back, see if I can get any of your questions. I think it's September 15th, Jim, is when the contest is over. Thank you for the link, Vicky. That's awesome. Can you talk about the DVD set, what they covered, the book does not? The DVD and the book are not similar. In other words, there are certain concepts that go across all my work, but I've been very careful not to just simply write a book about that is essentially the same as the DVD. You know, everything that I write or that I do captures me at that moment. And, you know, the DVD is not the same as either book, although there are concepts on the DVD that are in both books. I've read the book already. It's an excellent read to some of your DVDs from the past. They helped me get where I was starting in this game. Keep the good work. Thanks. Now, like I said earlier, the reason why my work continues is because I get such phenomenal feedback from everyone out there. And I've been trading for 15 years. I've only been in education for about 5. And someone said, how did you become so prominent in education so quickly? And I really had to think about it. I really don't know. But for some reason, I seem to be able to explain concepts that are fairly complicated, and I can do it in a way that people understand, and that seems to be the key to getting this to work. It was over my head till I read this book. Thanks very much. It's nice to know. You know what I love about Amazon? I can order the Kindle version, have it in 5 seconds. That's true. The Kindle, it is available on Kindle, and that's a great thing at the beach. I mean, if you don't want to lug a bunch of books down to the beach with you, you just bring your Kindle, right? And, you're laying there on the beach thinking, oh, what book would I like to read today? Or you're in the airport thinking, my flight's going to be delayed. What book do I want to read? Just download it. It's awesome. Okay. Right time, right place. Exactly, says Harley. The Delta says Dollar Canada had this scenario last week. Great opportunity. 6-5 to 1. So they were massively on one side of the trade, and right at the same. So this made sense, and this worked out, right? So yeah, that is from the CME. That's the COT report, Commitment of Traders report. So you see yen crosses heading in the next weeks. When I think that the yen's going to continue to strengthen until Japan steps in and does something about it. Traders are basically daring the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Japan to do something about the current yen strength. Okay. Let's see. Let's continue on. Okay, so I think that pretty much answers the questions. I'm going to just flip you guys, if you don't mind, just a couple of quick websites here. Will the conference be emphasizing the playbook strategies? The thing about the conference is that I'm always teaching what is going to work right now. That's always my focus. So really, some of that playbook is going to be in it, and some of it isn't, because I'm always growing. I'm always learning, and I'm going to teach you the most recent version of me. Okay, is the best way I can put it. And so I can't guarantee you that any of it's going to be based on old work. There's going to be some things in there that are going to look familiar to you because there's some things that are just great, that are always good. But I also take what's happening right now and focus on that. So it's not going to be exactly the same thing. This is my website, fxeducator.com, or you can also go edponsi.com. This is the link. Come by there, check it out, right? All that stuff. And this tells you that the Hilton Hotel, we're doing it at the New Jersey Newark Airport, which is a big, beautiful airport just outside of New York City. And it is sort of an intermediate to advanced course. We are not going to tell you what is the value of a pip or this is a currency pair. That's not what we're all about. You know, this is something that's a little bit more advanced than that. So we're going to give you breakfast, lunch, and all these wonderful things. We're going to give you tons of stuff. We're raffling off, you know, all kinds of cool stuff. So I want you to check that out. And also, of course, don't forget the contest for the Ed Ponsi Forex Playbook. We only have 13 reviews up there, so feel free. If you can get your review in, use your real name, you just might be attending the conference for free. You have to get yourself there, folks. You have to get yourself there. I can't fly you in. But on the other hand, once you get here, we will take good care of you. When are you coming to the UK? You know, I was just there last month. It's odd. I was there for a wedding, and we managed to do a one-day seminar just due to popular demand from a friend of mine who's also on here named George. That is going to do, we're going to wrap it up now. Will we post a review on Amazon? Yes, please post it up on Amazon.com. Exactly, Abel. And thank you for all the great stuff. And thanks, everyone, for coming out to attend. Yes, I'm going to teach you how to fish. I'm not all about that's exactly right. So listen, thank you for attending, everyone. And thank you very, very much to FX Street for allowing us to have this time together. And again, I am out of here. I have to go settle on a house again. So I'll see you for my FX Street Premium regulars. I'll be back tomorrow. If you're not on FX Street Premium, please ask Maud or all the other, or Vicky to tell you all about it. And, right. And, Greg, that's not true. I think you're confusing me with someone else. Okay. That's it. All right, gang. I'm out of here. Greg Mikowski is up next. Greg, I'll see you out in Vegas, man. Mr. Greg Mikowski, that is. All right. This is Ed Ponsi saying thanks very much for listening. See you tomorrow. Have a great day.